Welcome back, kings and queens. I'm William. This week, we're going to talk about my move to Connecticut. Things started to change. Dark clouds. Let's get into it. This is my story. Alright, kings and queens, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, do it now. If you like what I have to say, thumbs up. If you don't, that's okay. Comment below. Tell me where you from. Tell me if there was anything that actually happened in your life that was dark. Dark clouds. Yeah. So, we left New York. But before we left New York, my father came back. And I say this now, right after my father just recently passed away, like last week. So, rest in peace. Yeah, so if you notice that over the last 2 episodes, I didn't mention him much. That's because he wasn't around while I was growing up to an extent. When my mother told us we were actually moving to Connecticut, right before that, my father came to visit. So it was cool, you know. Give me a pair of Ray-Bans. I remember making a song about it. But yeah, so he comes back. You know, my father was always very charismatic, you know. So, fast forward, the day we're moving, I find out that my father is the one who's gonna move us. So, that's cool too, you know. So, it was my mother, you know, my brother, my grandmother, my father, and myself. So, we're going to Connecticut. We're going to start a new life. And we get there. And I find out that he's going to be living with us. Okay, cool. Now I have a dad. Yeah, all right. So, then I find out my mother is expecting. Okay. So, we're going to have a sister. Wonderful. All right. So, everything is going up. Then one day, we get a knock on the door, and my father is introducing me to my older sisters. I have sisters without expecting sister. Okay. What just happened? Bobby, you have 2 sisters. Here they are. Great. Okay. So, yeah. I was a kid, right? And my wife says that as a kid, you know, you can't be responsible for adult issues, right? So adults project their problems sometimes on their kids. But as I grew older, I realized that there's this dark cloud of deception that covers my family. Because the surprises did not stop there. I have other siblings that I found out. So after, my baby sister was born, years later, I found out there's other sisters. And recently, when, I found out about my father's passing, I learned that I had another sister. I have a brother, and my father had this whole other life in the Dominican Republic. But that's his story, right? For me, is that even though he wasn't perfect, I learned a lot. And not because he taught me, but because I saw, right? The pain, my mother would go through as a result of certain indiscretions, which in turn makes me a better husband. Because a long time ago, I realized that I'm going to be everything he's not. So it helps me even be a better father. So in everything, you have the good and the bad, right? You have power over your circumstances and what you do with your life, right? And how you press forward. It's made me who I am, and it's gonna continue to shape me and allow me to continue to press forward. You can't allow yourself to be held hostage by your past. But you also have to learn, all right? Every time I'm in the midst of going through something, I'm always, just praying to learn the lesson. Whatever the lesson is that I need to learn it as soon as possible so I can move forward. Because what happens is, if you don't learn the lesson, then you repeat it over and over again. And sometimes it'll happen for generations. So your brothers, will be affected, and their children, and their children's children's, if nobody learns the lesson. So for me, this cloud, right, of all this deceit, these lies, that overcomes the family dynamic, I'm rebuking it for my family. I'm forthright to the point that I can't even hold back surprises. I'ma tell you everything. Because I don't want to lie. I don't. I just want to tell the truth. And that's my story. So, until next time, grace and peace.